Help a soul out on your journey, will you?
Oh, an adventurer. Great. Just the kind of person I need. You don't know what it's like to live here. It's unbearable. Everyone's poor. The Menhir is failing and the Red Death is creeping closer every day. And Camelot? It'll be even worse. Here, at least I'm someone. There, I'd be nothing. And I won't rot in a cell. Over my dead body!
Ah, a visitor. It has been a while since we've had one, hasn't it, my dear Gawain? Will I need to carry the bones of my only companion to his resting place today? Or could it be that this is the day when our souls are finally laid to rest? I am Sir Bertilac, Wanderer. I keep watch over the cursed, restless sleep of dearest Sir Gawain. He is dear to me now, but long ago, I thought little of him. An honorless, arrogant whelp he seemed to me. But when I struck him down and saw him look up at me in quiet wonder as he drew his last breath, I understood then that we were the same. Both tools in the hands of those with power, afterthoughts in the games they played. The endless, hateful dance of a pair of siblings so alike, they were a mirror of each other. The Lady Morgaine had me believe I was meant to cut short the reckless, unruly ways of her brother's knights, to prove he let them act without honor. She said she only wished to be heard. But as I sat here, forgotten, I came to understand. She wanted Arthur to hurt, as she had been made to hurt. With cunning, with expedience, he was given a choice: die with honor, or live without it. But is a choice truly a choice if its only purpose is deception? Gawain chose life, yet I struck him down. And in the end, he got neither life nor death, only suffering. And me, the only one left to remember. Apologies, Wanderer. For a very long time, the good Sir Gawain has been my only company in this place. As much as he was once known for his sharp wit, time and decay have taken his voice from him. I've grown used to our conversations being one-sided. I hope you'll forgive me if I slip into old habits. Challenge me, Wanderer. End my lonely vigil. And after I fall, take up my axe. Give my dear Gawain one last duel, and one final death. If you are the one the Lady Morgaine truly meant to punish, then at last we may find our rest. Now, will you fight? So be it. May the one who falls find peace.
Poor Sir Gawain, the knight who gave his life for the honor of his king. He didn't deserve to be forgotten. At least now, he has a purpose once more. I've been dreading that question, I won't lie. You've already met them all, I'm afraid. I'm the last remaining member of the guild, and have been for the past 100 years. Well, until now, you can see why I was so excited for you to join. A long life is a gift the wordness grants to many, but to me, it's been even more generous than most. Maybe I'll live only as long as I'm needed, or maybe longer. Whatever the wordness wills, I'll accept it, like I always have. It's a bit more complicated than that. The wordness is our fears, our desires, and the mark we leave on this world. It can be whatever we wish it to be, and we can become whatever it chooses to make of us. We are part of the wordness, and it is part of us. It shapes us, yes, but we can shape it in return. Not as well as the Foredwellers once could, but perhaps all we need is time. I was brought into the guild by Eleanor Dunn, a royal geographer who found the one dearest to her soul among my tribe. She lived among us for many years, but when her beloved became one with the wordness, Eleanor was allowed to prepare her body for the last rites, yet never truly as one of us. My people accepted their bond, but never her, so she left, and I followed her, as a good daughter should, even if not by blood. I met a few more members as I traveled with her, but over time, they grew fewer and fewer, until only I was left. But as long as one of us is still alive, so is the guild, and I won't let my second family be forgotten. Sir Bertilac, from Gawain's executioner to his protector. There's no need to worry about him. His soul walks Avalon freely now, shining bright. All of Morgaine's darkness has lifted. I'm sure he and Sir Gawain will cross paths again, this time without the shadow of a curse between them. We all want peace, but it rarely comes easily. The knights swore to protect Avalon, and now they have the chance to fulfill that oath. Sir Gawain will find his peace, as will you, and His Majesty, but it will take effort from all of us. A strong king means a strong Avalon, and for that, he needs his knights. The word Nis is like a web. Without strong threads to hold it together, it tears apart, and chaos follows. Every soul wandering Avalon is one of those threads, but the ones who shaped it, their threads are the strongest. King Arthur and his knights once brought peace to Avalon. Their very presence helps to calm the turmoil, even now. Go and seek the next of the fallen. They need you.
I'd rather not speak of him, but I suppose I owe him that much. Morgaine and I, we shared only half our blood, yet both inherited the worst of our father's traits. Pride, arrogance, stubbornness. I was angry at her for humiliating me yet again, and angry at Gawain for falling so easily into her trap. He was never the perfect knight, nor did he try to be. But he was brave and bold, and he didn't deserve to become a pawn in our quarrel. I should have taken more of an interest in his fate, but there was always something more pressing. Until I ran out of time. Although, if you think about it, we did end up sharing similar fates.
Greetings, my king. If you're seeing this message, it means Caradoc has fulfilled his task, and the wheel of destiny has begun to turn. I am Orin, your majesty's devoted servant, and the apprentice of your friend Merlin. Nothing would bring me greater joy than meeting you face to face. Alas, that must wait, for our paths have yet to cross, though I hope it will be soon. In the meantime, please treat my home as your own. Make yourself comfortable. Rest from your hardships, and seek the knowledge you require. And you, brave vessel, remember to heed your lord, King Arthur, now and always.
Hello. It's a beautiful day, don't you think? I don't know any Arthur. It's just me, Hob. I'm not really sure why I'm here. I only sat down because this chair looked very comfortable. But between you and me, it's not. I preferred the sand on the beach. It was much softer. That's possible. I exist. I often find myself in different places, not knowing how I got there. But most of the time, I'm happy. I enjoy this world and the people in it. Well, that's true. But even so, every day we get to live in peace is beautiful in its own way. If I were you, I'd take a moment to appreciate it. That's the big question, isn't it? If I had an answer, I'd tell you. But truth be told, I don't. It feels like the world has its own plans for me. And maybe for you too. One moment I'm by the sea or in a beautiful garden, and the next I'm here, chatting with you underground. Like I'm being nudged along by something bigger. Some curse, maybe. I've always wondered about that. Oh, just a thought. Maybe I crossed the wrong person or path a long time ago. And now I'm here, there, and everywhere in between. But you know what? It doesn't bother me. Every place I land has its own charm. I meet people, share a story or two, and move on. Maybe that's what I'm meant to do. Be a wanderer. Maybe it's not about me. Maybe it's about the people I meet, the places I see. If I'm part of some bigger story, I don't need to know the ending. I just need to enjoy the chapters. And you, my friend, what chapter are you on? Perhaps we're in the same one for a reason. Not much, I'm afraid. But all these books, I'd wager it belonged to some kind of scholar. Someone who spent their life chasing knowledge and ideas. Impressive, isn't it? I might even try to read one before fate decides to whisk me off somewhere else. Knowing my luck, I'll only get halfway through. Farewell. And if fate tosses us together again, I'll have a story or two waiting. Farewell.
He might have been, but I don't recall us ever meeting in person. Merlin had many apprentices, and Nimue was the most gifted among them, but even she never spoke in my presence. It is possible Merlin forbade his students from speaking to me, though why he would do such a thing, I cannot say. But Orin seems devoted to a cause he believes in. It's a refreshing perspective, and unlike any we've seen so far. Honestly, I had hoped his discoveries might help me recover some of my lost memories. Sadly, they did not. I remember what Merlin and I chose to do. I simply thought I could reconstruct the reasoning behind our decision. But it seems even Orin wasn't certain of that. I regret that Merlin didn't share his thoughts and decisions with his apprentices. They might have helped us now, on this journey. I'm not ready to answer that question. And I sense the final decision won't be mine to make. You're more important than you think. And our fates are bound together to the very end. In the end, Orin's opinion may not even matter.
Thanks once again. They keep trying to bite my...
Back to your...
meet again, Lost Prince. I was mistaken about our previous encounter. I erred in thinking I had unraveled what the Pale Lady had planned for the both of us. But I should have known better than to presume or anticipate the moves of someone as shrewd as her. I am tired, Prince. I am so terribly tired. I feel burned out. I can't weave anymore. I don't want to. Never imagined that such a moment could come. Oh, what a truly sorrowful thing. To accept that all things must finally fade. You meeting me? As I mentioned upon your first visit, I thought it was just a coincidence. A fortunate weave of various events that, under a different alignment of stars and smaller choices, would never have come to pass. However, it turns out that I was meant to fulfill a specific role, and it was not to weave new life as I once believed. To weave bridges between you and her despair. Bridges that would allow you to gather the memory shards. She used me, yet I cannot even bring myself to be angry with her. I see now that she seeks to restore the bonds that once were, before her world shattered and fell into ruin. The pain of a mother who has lost her child, it is difficult to comprehend, especially for us. For centuries, we never had to face loss, and then only by gazing upon you humans, we had to deal with the idea of death. To live in a world in which everything has to die, such a horrible and terrifying thing. Her desire was to bring her son back. I understand that, but can't really empathize with it. Understanding others has always been the strength of humankind. And anger? I'm not sure. For now, I just want peace. I don't want the weirdness. I don't want to weave. I don't want to feel. She hopes that by restoring her son's memory, she will finally bring him back. The Pale Lady wants to put you on a proper path. Yet she does not realize how daunting and impossible this challenge truly is. But those driven by despair rarely measure their actions with reason. Places like this one, or the one where we met before, were chosen by the Pale Lady for a reason. On their own, they're nothing more than aberrations twisted by the weirdness. To bridge your reality and ours, someone had to weave the passages. That someone was me. In both instances, I believed all my efforts were aimed at weaving a new Fordweller, for the first time in centuries. But the truth was far from that. The Archspire was a bridge to the place where her son was born. In that cave, I wove the prints from the threads of the weirdness granted to me by the Pale Lady. They were resonating with great desire. It seems the place we stand in now was marked as the place where I had to create the next passage. Since we lost the war against your kind, we retreated to Tuathan, severing ourselves from the rest of Avalon. All the while, the weirdness has continued to change. It has grown wilder, more untamed, and far harder to control, even for us. For centuries, places like this seemed lifeless, stripped of their potential. And then the spark began to return. It was then that I resumed my work. So it is true. I suspected that gazing upon the homelands by the Pale Lady and her son could not occur without disruptions. The knot grew tight. I did not dare to peer beyond my lost prince. I feel that what lies ahead is bound to a profoundly intimate and ineffably personal aspect of the Pale Lady. It is between you and her. Prince, It is time to go. Leave me behind. I played my role in this spectacle. Hopefully that will grant me freedom. Farewell.
There's no greater joy than watching how a son, born of desire, grows. There's no greater despair than watching how a son, born of one's own thought, perishes. And now you stand here, hidden deep within. And even I cannot fathom what my heart feels. Still torn, for you are not wholly him, my son, my prince of Tuathan. Yet there is a flicker of joy within me, for you carry the soul of an Arthur, whose life was chosen for my son. This means the fragments of memory I gathered and kept safe may be saved. The heart, bleeding and plagued, a fragment of me, of my despair, accidentally brought into existence upon the homelands. My tears seeped into your soil, birthing a terror that became inseparably bound to your kind. The Spectre, the Red Death. Unintentionally, I could not have foreseen what such an entanglement of our realities would bring. I could not have known the depths of pain wrought by the loss of a beloved child. When it started to spread, I couldn't find a way to stop it. I am so terribly sorry. Arthur believed that abandoning the homelands would stop the plague. The Red Church committed truly horrific acts in their desperate attempt to halt the blight. Yet, no matter what you humans do, the plague will always return. It's like a curse cast upon your kind. And so, you will drown in my tears. I want my son back. You walk your own path, yet you will be faced with choices. I hope that, among them, you will find a way to bring my son back. However, I cannot impose my will upon you. It took me a long time to understand that not everything should be demanded by force. I believe so. And you are already working tirelessly toward this, whether you realize it or not. Since my son's fate became entwined with that of Arthur, the King of Mortals, it is necessary to reconstruct the soul of the ruler whose essence you carry within your heart. You will also need the fragments of my son's memory, the ones I so carefully concealed for you to find. Beyond that, the Weaver may possess something helpful. His life-giving spindle. It may prove invaluable when the final trial comes. If you manage to find him, take it. He is no longer bound by the places I created for him, where he could work in peace. I have a feeling he may have returned to his workshop, deep within the Forlorn Swords. It is a tale about the Prince of the Four Dwellers, who unexpectedly became the king of humankind. Arthur. We are connected. In the homelands, he heard my call from beyond the mist. It guided him to Avalon. I met him during his journey. I gifted him with the sword. The Spectre, of which you now carry within yourself. He is someone very dear to me. Someone I lost decades ago, whose soul found a new body in your lands. As you already know, we found a way to gaze upon the homelands. My son was fascinated by humans, fascinated by your impermanence and fragility. When one has to deal with entropy and decay, everything suddenly gains far greater significance, doesn't it? He must have desired to live the life of a human. Perhaps it is one of the most powerful manifestations ever achieved by a Foredweller. Oh, the Weaver. I remember the spark of joy that lit up his pale face when he saw what emerged from the threads of weirdness I gifted him. A living being, brimming with such boundless potential, so vibrant with life. He always had a fondness for my child. He called him the Prince. In the homelands, I saw a powerful thing that we Foredwellers lacked. It was love, one of many emotions I had to learn. We lived in a world where everything was potent and possible. It made us live a life where we were drowning in decadence. I longed for something more. Our emotional structure was much less complicated than yours. You were quite an inspiration. Yes, I am fully aware that my will to bring Arthur to the shores of Avalon brought war and ruin upon my own kin. What would you have me say? There are no proper words for this. I will simply fall silent. Draw your own conclusions. Yes, although that was a horribly distorted part of me, living as if it were another life. Now I feel more whole. The emptiness is sharper. The sorrow far more profound. Ah, yes. Bound to Arthur through kinship. They were close enough that some of my despair reached her as well. A different kind, however. She was able to find and gaze into it. I pity her. The fate that befell her is truly dreadful. One aspect of the potential of the weirdness is that it can serve as a tool. For that, I needed a craftsman. Someone who could sense even the thinnest threads of that potential as part of a greater whole. Every Foredweller could manipulate the weirdness to some degree. But not all did so with the finesse of the Weaver. He could harness that potential for something far, far greater, like weaving a new life, for example. My skills lay elsewhere. Among them was the ability to peer beyond the horizon of our civilization, to see a different world. A world without the weirdness. A world filled with meaning and purpose, constructed through intricate connections. A single living organism, yet full of individuality at the same time. I feel that sometimes you do not realize just how extraordinary your land truly was. Are you sure? If you have anything to ask, ask now. This may be our last meeting before the end of things. So, it is done. I am glad my heart could host you. I hope you will succeed in reaching the goal you pursue. You leave this place with another shard. Use the memory of my son wisely. Ah, one more thing. That perfect obedience will no longer be your burden. It was never my will, but rather a flawed interpretation by humans, consumed with the madness of the dying. Farewell.
you don't look too pleased. Did the trickster play us for fools? No. I may be old, but not that old. But I was once involved with a man who did. He knew the First Knights personally. He used to tell me stories about them. Some funny, some sad. I think he missed them more than he cared to admit. But not the king. When it came to Arthur, he had nothing but contempt. And sometimes, that contempt bled into everything else. Oh, so you've met him. Of course you have. I should have guessed. You brought back His Majesty, and he is the center of Caradoc's very existence. Ugh, he's such a miserable sod. I'm sure he knows I'm around, but I'd kill for him to just come and say hello. He's a bitter man, and that bitterness darkened every bit of joy I tried to share with him. We were brought together by a special kind of loneliness. But while I see my life as an opportunity, he sees his as a curse. And he may not be wrong. Our circumstances are very different. Still, I wish I could have made him happy, even if only for a little while. I couldn't, and it was hurting us both too much to keep trying. Well, you've seen it for yourself. He wasn't your average knight. He was always praised for his cunning and his devotion, both to his fellow knights and to the realm. But he was also a clever man, always thinking ahead. I suppose one lifetime of battles is enough for some. If he wishes to be left in peace, who are we to deny him? The road is long, but the next tomb awaits.
A truly fascinating man. He started out as a court jester, but it quickly became clear he was quite skilled with a blade as well. At first, I suspected he might be a spy for an enemy kingdom, but after he saved my life one day, my perspective changed. Of course, he still could have been a spy, but I decided to keep him close and watch him carefully, just in case. In time, though, he proved to be a loyal companion. He earned my trust, and without hesitation, I knighted him. Well, it didn't surprise me much. That was Dagonet through and through. He always spoke his mind, caring little for what others might think. Even when it was my judgment he questioned. Only he and Palamedes ever dared to speak their minds openly in my presence, without fear of giving offense. Dagonet was decidedly less diplomatic than Palamedes, but it was precisely that honesty I valued in them both. Besides, from the start, he had a rare gift for foreseeing how things would unfold. I dare say, he even managed to make me laugh one last time.